Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of This Week in an Hour. We're your hosts, Jackson.
Brad.
And Luke.
Today, we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, what happened this past week.
In an hour!
All right, Luke, I think you got the first subject that we're going to talk about today.
I do. So, I was scrolling through the internet this week and I saw an interesting article. It was talking about New York wants to ban the use of armed robots by their police force. Because there's a situation where their police force used the dog from the Boston Dynamics. So it's like that, the video where they're like kicking the robot dog. It looks pretty fucked up. And then, it's like a real robot. They put a bunch of cameras on it and it went into like a crime scene, was able to do a bunch of surveillance. So they want to preemptively ban them, allowing them to put guns on that thing and go in and just shoot people pretty much. So it's kind of like, what is your guys' thoughts on that?
In certain situations, that wouldn't be a bad thing to have, like in a terrorist situation. Well, I guess it would be kind of bad to have in a hostage situation because the hostiles would probably end up just shooting the hostages anyways.
Yeah.
But I think like for surveillance and like bomb disposal and like all that, like it's a great tool to have because you're not putting anyone's life at risk. Like you're sending in an inanimate object that can do the job just as well, or if not better.
I'd say better, probably.
Like, so you don't care about the death of robot dogs. I think it is also only thing that could be problematic, especially if they start carrying guns, is just like the loss of jobs for cops. I think kind of takes away from that. But as you were saying, just using it as a surveillance tool and like just like especially with like bomb situations, like instead of having to send somebody in there, they already have robots to do that too. But I mean, if you can do it in dog form, I guess that'd be pretty.
At the same time, though, like the job point, like it would add, it might take away from like the bomb disposal crew their jobs, but it would add additional jobs in like the upkeep and maintenance of the robot and like
they have to
control, like someone has to control it.
Like let him out every few hours,
Yeah, well, I mean that's
take
great.
him for a walk.
That's great for the people who are trained to do that, but it sucks for the people who are trained to dispose bombs. I mean,
well, I think even if the dog
robots
disposed,
I mean, I guess it could create and as well eliminate jobs, but
it's sort of like
it just kind of depends.
But I feel like it would be the thing at least for the next little while. Even if the dog diffused, I'm doing air quotes here, the bomb, you'd still need the same. Like they would still have to go in with the assumption that the bomb's still armed and still do it. So I don't think 20 years from now when they've proven that the dog can do it, it might get rid of jobs. But I think short term it would create more jobs. But the whole arm thing, I completely agree. I don't think robots should have the ability to kill people
or use a
because
gun.
that's some Terminator shit. Like that's like I'm not down for that.
But also like if they program a robot to kill, like what's it from killing innocent people? Like it's only gonna do what it's programmed to do. It has no like reasoning, so it's not gonna be like this guy's unarmed, like this is a civilian, he's innocent. Like it's just gonna go in and
I'm sure there's some sort of technology.
Like have you guys ever seen the movie I, Robot with Will Smith? There's like
a long time ago.
Yeah, there's like the 3 laws, and like the first rule is like robots cannot harm humans.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a very, very slippery slope.
Oh yeah.
Giving robots making robots with the sole ability to kill people. Like that's a very slippery slope. Because and then the whole thing is
what's considered a threat.
Yeah, and it's programmed to not kill people, but then what happens if somebody hacks into it? Next thing you have a dog running around New York killing everybody it sees.
Well, especially that too, like it's not so much as dangerous if you have someone like controlling it from a secure location, but if you add in the AI portion to it and you start programming it like to kill and stuff, then that's when it.
Well, I think that's a big thing of that dog is I think it's autonomous. Like I don't think it has somebody using a controller.
Yeah. When they first rolled it out, it was for military use. It was for like a pack mule, like carrying all their gear and stuff. A soldier would have to have like some sort of device, not necessarily like a control, but like
followed it.
It followed it and like wherever it was going and stuff, so that it knew like where, because it can't really see. It just has the like detection on its like legs and feet and for the terrain and stuff. And then the military ended up canceling the project because it was way too loud to go into like a war zone. Like
I suppose,
people would hear it coming from miles away, and
it would bark randomly.
Yeah,
sees like a squirrel or something.
Yeah, it would just chase the squirrel up a tree, and it wasn't really reliable.
I don't know what it is though. Even though it's a robot, but it looks like a dog. The video where they're kicking it, you're still kind of like, oh, it looks like they're kicking a dog.
Well, it doesn't even look like a dog. It looks more like a donkey. Like it's huge. It's...
Have you seen the ones of the videos they have like they're more humanoid and they like do backflips and shit? And they'll like backflip from like a pillar to a higher pillar. Yeah. And they'll do a backflip while doing it. Like
that's scary.
Some crazy shit.
Yeah, if you weaponize that like you
can't survive. It's doing like backflips while also has like a small minigun sticking out of its stomach, just blowing
backflips and quickscopes you, the trick shots. Like post the video on YouTube.
He just hits a double YY 360 on someone.
The FaZe clan just gets hired to be the military, basically. But like, I'm pretty sure there was a movement where the militaries basically tried to agree we're not gonna make killer robots, and then Russia was like, "Yeah, fuck you guys, we're gonna make killer robots." Like,
I think it was either Japan or China. I'm pretty sure it was Japan, but at one point in a lab a year or two ago, they had an incident where they did arm a robot, and it like got out of control, and it killed like 7 scientists in the lab that were working on the project, and they shut it down immediately.
Because like you can't do anything.
Like that's unstoppable unless we dismantle
unless John Connor comes and saves us. Like
it's really hard to take that out considering we're flesh and it's a machine. Like
because like you can't even like you literally have to destroy it. You can't like starve it of air or anything. Like,
no. Well, and even if it's an AI, it can put itself in the internet and like hide away in the cloud, and you can't really ever it's a very, very slippery slope. Like we're gonna have to be really careful in the future about that stuff.
Well, there's big movements for proper use of AI because a lot of people are saying like they don't want like Google and Facebook to get use of AI because it should be used to help humanity, not take advantage of humanity.
Like I believe that AI is, well, it can be a good thing and a bad thing, but I think if we use it properly, it's gonna be really great for society, and like it's gonna help solve tons of problems. Like it could solve.
I think that's what we say about a lot of things too.
It could solve world hunger issues. It could solve.
I think it's probably one of the
lots of problems that we have currently.
I would honestly say it's probably the most dangerous thing. Yeah, it's either gonna be amazing for society or it's gonna kill society. Yeah, and there's no in between.
No, there's no in between at all.
And the government should be proactive and ban.
Oh yeah.
Companies like Facebook shouldn't be using AI to collect our information.
No, that's
or
not right.
Amazon using AI for that. Like it needs to be for societal purposes, not commercial uses.
Yeah, I don't think you should be making money off like finding every little thing about everyone and
and that's what it is. They get a more effective way of knowing. They'll know everything about you.
Yeah,
before you do it.
They just know more and more as.
Well, it'll be like in Avengers there in Captain America Civil War, or not Civil War, the second one, Winter Soldier, where it was the algorithm that could kill everyone before they were even a target. Like it just knew what they were gonna end up being just by patterns. Like that's
insane. That it's like
scary.
It is.
If that was real, which AI is definitely the next evolution in our.
Well, because we don't like. We can't even comprehend what AI will be capable of because it can become infinitely smarter than us.
Yeah.
Like, things that took people years to figure out, AI can figure out in seconds.
Yeah, like
because it's like they think that like theoretically, if you had like a fully functioning AI, it could learn the internet in like a day and a half. Yeah, and like that's just like. But there was actually I saw a thing. It was talking about an AI that they let go on the internet, and it learned how to talk, and within like a day and a half it became super racist. Like it said a bunch of racist stuff because the internet it just like learned to be racist. Like, so don't give the AI the internet.
No.
But yeah, it's craziness.
Well, on a little lighter note, this week was actually Sleep Awareness Week, so in case you didn't catch up on your sleep.
In case you weren't aware, you're supposed to sleep.
Yeah. Maybe you can go dream about AIs taking over the world.
Yeah.
In your sleep week.
Dying to a dog robot with a minigun. Well, to get away from the lighter news, I mean, I'm sure everybody has seen this in some way. The whole gym fiasco with the NCAA, the women's athletes gym versus the male athletes gym.
Yeah, for March Madness.
See, I've never heard of this until you guys just brought it up today, so I was actually quite surprised at what I saw.
Yeah, as Stephen A. Smith would say, it was blasphemy, but it was pretty nuts. Like there's no reason. Like, what's several yoga mats and weights from 2.5 to 25 pounds gonna do?
Yeah, like a middle school gym has a nicer gym than that.
Explain
easily.
So, the men's gym, what's that compared to the women's gym right now?
I don't even know how you could compare the two. The men's gym basically has
everything you would ever need.
Yeah, an abundance of squat racks and weights ranging from 2.5 to probably 100 and some pounds. Like, it's just a completely different thing. We're talking like a whole gymnasium full of weights compared to a janitor's closet with a stack of weights. It's crazy.
Yeah, so since it became public, they corrected it.
Yeah,
but that shouldn't have been what pushed it. It shouldn't have been an issue. It
took someone like 5 minutes to set up one weight room compared to a whole hired staff to completely put together this complex weight room.
It turns out it actually wasn't even like set up. It was like that's where the janitor actually works out.
Yeah, it's probably honestly.
He's like, yeah, I got all this off Craigslist. Yeah, you guys can use it. Why not?
Couldn't see it being a problem.
Geez, a lot of women can lift more than a lot of men. Like now, they should have the same.
I think what it comes down to, and I mean the NCAA, everybody knows that they're scumbags and all that, is they make more money off of men's sports, so they only invest in the places that they make money, and like they really show that they don't give a fuck about the athletes. They care about the money they make.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like the male athletes coming out now and even being like, well, I'm not your property. Like there was I forget which one it was. There was a guy on one of the basketball teams that wore a T-shirt that said "Not NCAA property."
Well, it sucks about that too because like they can't even benefit. Like they can't make a dime off anything.
They can't make any money off their name. The NCAA completely profits off of it. The NCAA is a non-profit organization, so that means all that money that they make from their TV deals and their sponsorships and everything goes right back into the NCAA, aka the old rich people's pockets.
Yeah, and coaches in the NCAA of the big schools make as much money as NFL coaches.
Oh yeah,
like it's ridiculous.
And it's the same thing too. Like just staying on the topic of just their rights as athletes and as humans. Like it's NCAA football game was a huge one where like big huge game that everybody loved, but like since the NCAA got greedy and rules and so I don't know.
There's with the whole XFL thing, people are hoping that it puts a bit of pressure on the NCAA because if the XFL can grow, they might be able to pull some people away.
Yeah,
it'll be like you can come get paid
and play and and still get like noticed and
and hopefully that it makes zero sense that they're not allowed to make money off their own name.
That would be like the CHL here, wouldn't it? Like,
and essentially yes and no. Like
I think it'd be considered pro though. I think it'd be like the AHL.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like the AHL where you could have guys who are 18 playing against guys who are 35.
Yeah.
So there's no.
Didn't The Rock buy the XFL?
He's a part owner.
Part owner?
Yeah, I think that is gonna help catapult that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's just his name on it.
Big time.
Yeah. Well, speaking of things that just happened recently too, he's talking about like he let out like this nice tweet about like the CFL and how much the CFL meant to him. So I don't know if maybe there'll be some sort of CFL XFL merger, which I think would be great for the game.
That would be great exposure for the CFL players too, because right now I mean, the CFL is a professional league, but they don't even really make enough money.
Some of them, they work when they're not in season.
Yeah, my mom works with the wife of someone who plays in the CFL, and he has a full-time job when he's not playing.
So it's It's crazy. And like I think the only people that would be making like the quarterbacks make decent money.
Yes, yeah. There's some players.
Yeah,
that do
there would be like
but it's
superstars,
like
but
your league minimums aren't making enough money to. It's like a passion at that point,
basically.
or like a side hustle.
Kinda, yeah. Basically a side hustle.
Which I mean, keep you in shape, I guess. But I don't know. The NCAA is just whack. I don't understand how. I mean, and they paint it as they're for the students, but they're really not.
I heard a lot about a couple of years ago. Like one of my buddies in university, he did like a whole presentation on how like players should be getting paid and like how they should be making money off their name and stuff in the NCAA and.
Well, I mean, I think the NCAA either needs like. They're never gonna pay the players, so let them make money off their own names at least. So they have some way. Like there was a player that got in a bunch of shit because somebody gave him money, so he would be able to afford to play football, and they fined him for it, and like he got in a bunch of shit for it because you're not allowed to make money because they considered he made money off football because the person gave him money so he could go play football.
Yeah, that's
like it makes no sense at all.
Especially if these guys are like some people coming off the streets, like off from poor families, and like that's their only way. And that's
where they're talking about the XFL route would be better for people like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't need to put everything out on the line and not make money to gamble on going to the NFL. You can go to the XFL and make money.
Yeah.
And still either make it to the NFL or have an XFL career where you're still going to make decent money.
Yeah.
And like what I don't understand is hockey players in the CHL. If you're 15 years old, you're getting paid. You're not getting paid a ton of money, but you're getting paid money.
You're still getting like.
And the CHL, makes way less money than the NCAA.
Oh yeah.
The NCAA could have, and I think what they do is they go, well, you're on full ride scholarships. That's how you're getting paid.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, not really. You need me to play for you, and you're just going. Yeah, we're letting you attend our school for free.
Yeah.
But we're gonna make triple what your tuition costs off you. It's corrupt.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, well, let's go to something a little bit more fun, I guess.
Yeah, something a little bit more. Oh, this is like the most classic "you had one job" meme ever. So the ship got stuck in the Suez Canal. And essentially, this guy's one job was to try and not drift this 4 football field length ship
callback
into a canal, like some sort of pirate version of Ken Block. So basically,
great analogy.
Yeah, I thought so. The name of the ship was the Ever Given. It was a Panama flag ship, and it's a cargo ship, and it carries cargo between Asia and Europe, and it's operated by a Taiwanese firm called Evergreen Marine Corp. Anyways, so
good
basically,
Evergreen
Marine. Yeah, it has a nice ring to it. That's probably why they went with the name. So basically, yeah, it's nudged itself in between this canal, and they cannot get it turned around, and there's over 200 ships that have been backlogged because of it, and so now at this point it is actually like affecting the world's like trade routes and everything.
Economy is getting,
and like people are not getting like their stuff on time. Like everything's screwed up.
When did this like how recently?
This is like yesterday. This ship is literally parked sideways.
So it's currently as we talk still.
As we speak right now, this ship is sideways in this canal, blocking passage. I think the number now is up to 250 boats have been like blocked off, and it's like has to change complete routes all over the world.
Like, I feel bad if I inconvenience somebody by a minute or two.
Yeah.
Imagine this guy. He's sitting in that ship like, holy fuck.
Guess what? It gets even better. I was doing a little bit of research, and the Ever Given was also involved in an accident in northern Germany in 2019 when it ran into a small ferry on the Elbe River in Hamburg, Germany.
Man,
so this guy is like, yeah, I don't know.
Someone's gonna fire this guy.
Maybe he's just drinking on the job or something.
Maybe.
He's like, I'm the best boat pilot there is.
I'm the captain now. And so yeah, I don't know what happened there. Somebody's got to maybe take his boating course again. I don't know.
Revoke his boater's license.
How would you even pull that out if it's stuck? Like,
well, that's the thing.
Like, do you get like it's a 5 football ship? Do you get like the 7 football ship to come in and pull it out?
I don't know if, I guess you guys didn't really hear about this before we started talking about it, but there's a whole bunch of memes, and it's like they literally have these little. I say little. I guess it looks little compared to this absolutely
They're the size of a
massive
house.
unit. Like yeah.
Like
So there's this
tugboats?
little. No, it's not even. Don't even have tugboats out there. These little backhoes trying to nudge, trying to push up on the ship and move it over, and it's just like not happening at all.
They
They're
have
gonna
that
have
the
to-
one from St. John that looks like the duck or whatever down there.
Yeah, apparently by Sunday they're supposed to have a couple boats down there to try to nudge it out. But I
They're,
mean,
they're probably gonna have to like cut that ship up.
oh, it's literally like this guy literally had one job.
I was
and it
wondering why
just to not
Amazon
do
orders
that.
taking so long.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, yeah, that's like a main trade route. Like
Yeah,
Is,
completely
is
blocked
that the
off.
route that it's like the ships have like a foot clearance on either side? Is that
I don't
that
know if
Pan-
it's
that's
that
the
one.
Panama
That's
Canal.
Panama Canal. Actually,
that
that's
was
true.
seeing pictures of that's insane. These
Yeah.
guys are like that
Well-
big of a boat, and it's like you could reach over and touch the land pretty
they,
much.
yeah.
yeah, that's an artificial passage because it was taking so long for ships to go all the way down around South America, so they just went
Man.
right in between South and North
It's
America.
crazy. That guy, he's just like, I'm done. I'm retired after this.
I think he's gotta hang it up. I mean, like imagine like your one oopsie daisies, your one little my badsies is completely screwing up the world's
Yeah,
economy.
normally you mess up at work, it's like your boss might bitch at you a little bit. This guy, it's like the whole world's like,
Yeah.
you're ruining the fucking economy.
Like some
But
guy-
imagine it's the guy's first day on the job. It's like first day he doesn't have the guy watching him. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, Jim, you get to pilot the boat yourself.
he's all pumped up. He told his wife about it. He's like, "Today's my day, baby."
He's tweeting, Snapchat. There's a Snapchat of
Yeah.
him first day pilot, and then all you hear is like,
Oh shit!
Just like beeping in the background, like woo, woo, woo.
oh fuck. Yeah, that's rough.
His instructor's just sitting at home, face palms, like, oh man, like
I told him to stay off his fucking phone.
That's
no
probably what it
texting
is.
and boating.
Probably one of those young guns out there
Yeah, he had to make
texting and
TikTok.
yeah, making it probably a TikTok
Dancing
star,
at the wheel.
singing sea shanties.
That's wild though. Like that's insane. Yeah. So
I can't believe that would happen. Like,
it's like normally your like little mess up isn't like even like local news. It's
Yeah.
international news.
Yeah.
No, I can see already. I bet you they had probably had a couple drinks, and then he was hanging out with the rest of the crew, and he's like, "Hey boys, watch this shit." He's like, "I'm gonna fucking do it today. I'm gonna whip this boat around right into this canal, and it's gonna be hilarious. Like,
This is gonna be the fastest entry into the canal
Yeah.
ever.
it's gonna be the best."
And it turned out to be the fastest entry into the bank beside the canal ever.
He just ripped the e-brake a little too hard, and that was the end of it.
well, geez, it would have even been better if he would have run aground, because at least they would have been
Oh, he
able
did.
to.
They
Oh.
are.
No, like
The boat has
halfway
run
up.
It has run aground.
But it's like
It's like literally wet.
perpendicular
It's like,
to
yeah.
the canal entrance.
Yes.
So
But
it's like
like-
making like a upside down T pretty much. Like
How can I show you guys this? Basically, so think of this as like it just literally think of a parking spot where you have to parallel park.
Yeah, like
And
he
then-
Austin Powers it.
Yeah, exactly. Is
Yeah.
what happened.
But I mean, like, it would have been better if he would have came in on an angle and like tried to
Like,
run
been up
around
more- been
so
more
that,
up, yeah.
there was space behind, or like,
Fair enough.
so that they could like push him even further on.
if he was gonna fuck it up, he should have fucked it up
Better.
more.
Yeah. So maybe he can take notes.
He should have
for
sank
next
the
time he
ship.
screws up.
He's gonna be like, you know what, guys? Let's just say I messed it up the littlest you could. Yeah, it had the worst effect.
But it really could have been worse when you think about it.
The ship is gonna work still. All the food on it is rotten now, but
And at the end of the day, I think I should keep my job.
I think I should be the spokesman for what was the name of the line again? Prestige Worldwide
Yeah.
or something? Or-
Prestige Worldwide. Why? That's basically what it was. It was. Like
he was
a
actually
Step Brothers
reenacting
situation.
Boats and Hoes.
That's exactly what it was. They were shooting the
They were
music
shooting
video.
part 2.
Yeah, music video to Boats and Hose Part 2, and this is all this is. This is literally just a Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly movie happening in real
This is a
life.
publicity stunt.
That's all to promote the next movie, Step Brothers 2, coming out.
Yeah,
this
That
fall.
would be, imagine how much that marketing would cost. It's like, okay, we're gonna write off a cargo ship. No, I'm assuming that company would get fined and have to.
I had no idea. I'm sure they'll probably get into the specifics as time
Once
when
it's
maybe when they get the
fixed.
boat dislodged from the landmass.
They
sure
have to
they're
cut a
not too
hole
worried
through it,
about
and
that
from
right
now
now.
on you drive in between.
in between the boat. The boat's the new canal.
That guy is gonna have to, like, his job from now on signaling people through.
Yeah.
You just can never leave the boat. That's the punishment.
Captain must go down with the ship.
Yeah. That's fucked. Well, I saw a fun little fact. Us three used to play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. People don't know what it is. It's like a tactical FPS game. And we kind of stopped playing it because it was kind of dying. We played
For those of you who don't know what FPS means, it's a first-person shooter.
If you don't know what FPS is,
Good to clarify.
good luck. But basically, we thought it was dying on Xbox, which this doesn't really. I'm assuming it still is dying on Xbox. But Rainbow Six Siege, how old would it be? 5 years now?
This is the 6th year.
6 years old, and it hit a record in the last week for 200,000 concurrent players, which is the highest they've ever had.
Yeah,
Concurrent means players playing all at once. So they had 200,000 people online on PC.
Yes, and we must stress that this is on PC. I've tried to play it on Xbox the last couple of days, and it literally just loads for 3 minutes. You get into a game, it freezes, and then some kid messages me and tells me to get the fuck out of the game or he's gonna boot me. So
yeah, if you're ever having a really good day and you're like, I want a little bit of toxicity in my life,
go
on Rainbow Six Siege.
Fun game, but oh my goodness, the community.
Most toxic community of any.
My
video
favorite game, but I cannot play it
NHL and Rainbow Six Siege. I'd say Siege probably.
Siege is definitely
Siege. They can team kill you.
Yeah. Siege, they literally message you and tell you that they're going to fucking kill you and end your life.
And they don't mean in the game. They mean in real life. They're like, I'm going to come find you and burn your house down.
This is your IPS.
Well, 1 minute they're doing that, the next minute they're booting you offline with their friggin' DDoSing software, and like you can't even play the game. And the next minute they're cheating by using a mouse and keyboard against a controller. Like
it's just, and then you hit the trifecta, and it's just you're done.
And then you're done.
I'm not playing.
And then
this
usually
again.
there's something through the wall.
And then you struggle to sleep that night because you're still angry 3 hours later.
Just steaming.
Oh,
what did I do there?
That was a good one.
But yeah, that's great for Siege, I guess, and Steam.
I think they ruined it with the whole site changes. I know you guys.
No, I like the new site, but I heard from, well, I didn't really hear. I saw from, like online from a lot of the streamers and like the big Siege YouTubers and stuff. Like at the start of the pandemic, when video games were kind of picking up and like everyone was more involved because they were at home. Siege was dying on all on PC and console.
Good riddance.
All platforms.
Yeah, all platforms. I don't know like if it's the new season that kind of intrigued people to come back, but I haven't even really heard much about it until you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's surprised. The only reason I brought it up is because that surprised me that much. So I was like, how did they hit a record?
When I read that, I was like, what is going on?
It's actually 2015 again. Yeah. Then I saw another thing. I was talking about how, of all the social medias, because I mean they're all very intrusive, Instagram is the worst, and they collect 79% of your personal information.
That's crazy.
I don't even know how they do that, because like of any social media, I think that you give them the least, really.
Yeah, like when you sign up for it, like I give them an email and then your name, and I don't even know if you put in your birthday when you sign up for it, do you? Or?
Yeah, I think you have to do that for everything now because you need to be 13 to have any kind of medias.
Oh, really? Did not know that.
Yeah, that was a big like thing that they had to do for Facebook, that they made it, and then Facebook owns Instagram, so I'm assuming it's the same policy.
Probably.
They definitely make you put your birthday in there. I don't know.
But other than that,
but who puts their actual birthday? You just put like January 1st and then whatever.
I don't care if they know my birthday. Like, who cares?
But I suppose it's.
Yeah, maybe all the bot profiles will wish me happy birthday.
Yeah.
I'll feel important for a little bit.
I think what it is, I guess, is like, I think a lot of people will probably give it location access always.
Oh, probably.
Even when they're not in app. So Instagram probably just like follows you and knows where you are.
And I mean, people always tagging like where they are, what they're constantly tagging like what they're doing, where they're at, what little restaurant
what you like,
or
what, and then like even like I was thinking about this. If you like say, you know how they have ads every like 4 or 5 posts.
Yeah.
Say there's one ad that you see, you watch for a second and skip, and then there's another ad you watch for 20 seconds. They definitely take that into effect. It's like
they do.
Oh,
they literally do.
Oh, he watched this one for 20 seconds, so he likes this stuff.
Well, I have a first-hand account. Like at Christmas time, Blake was up. That's one of our friends, and he was visiting for the holidays, and we were hanging out, and he said he wanted this like this smartwatch for Christmas. He thought that his parents were getting it for him, and I had never heard of it, this brand. And then literally the next day I was scrolling through Instagram, I get an ad for that. Like it allows, or your phone allows access to Instagram to for the microphone, like, and it literally, like, right now as we're speaking, it's listening to us, and we'll probably get an ad for a boater's license or something.
We'll get an ad for Instagram.
Yeah, or they're literally like to go buy a boat, like local boat shops near us. But literally, if you have not watched
boat trading,
if you have not watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix yet, I highly suggest going to watch that. It basically explains all of that.
Brad?
No, like seriously though, watch it. It's really good and it's super informative, and it really wakes you up to like what's social media, like what it's doing, what it's using, what it takes from you. It's crazy.
In theory, social media is like a great concept because you can stay connected with everyone and whatnot, but like
just a government's secret way of keeping tabs on you.
The best thing I heard about social media is people are like, well, it's free, so why wouldn't you use it? Well, and I've always thought this after the person, I forget who said it, but anything that's free, any service that's free, you are the product.
Yeah.
And that's what it is they're making money by selling our information to other companies.
Exactly.
Like Google doesn't make money from being a search engine. It makes money from collecting all your data. Like it's
selling it to Russian
ads.
companies.
What?
I said and ads.
Lots of ads. I recently started using AdBlock. Game changer.
Okay, I had to turn off ad blocker for it's like default on Safari on my MacBook. I had to
brag about it.
I had to turn that off for a job I was applying for, and I had to do this online like survey thing for it. And since I've turned it off, I've been getting, every time I Google search, it redirects me to Yahoo search, and I don't know how to fix it. I updated my computer to the latest software so that it might like update my security.
Dude, you're just on the superior search engine.
But like I don't know what's happening.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's not that he's on the superior one. He's the inferior one. And the reason that's happening is because Jackson's MacBook doesn't see him as an equal. He sees him as a subhuman. So Jackson must use Yahoo.
He doesn't deserve Google.
Well, I've even went in and tried to block it too. And
what's crazy is like I had never used AdBlock till recently on my computer, and I used uBlock Origin. It's like a Chrome extension, and it has a number, and it'll tell you how many ads in that session that it's blocked. And there was a day I was probably on my computer for
watching probably a lot of aggressive porn,
plus a lot of ads. No, I was playing games on one monitor, and I just had like music playing in YouTube and the other.
Yeah.
So it went through. I mean, a bunch of videos.
All those YouTube ads.
So in like a 4-hour session, it blocked 3,500 ads.
Well, I could imagine
because it blocks. It's not even just like the video ads. Even like the recommended video ads,
too.
Yeah, anything Google. You know how when you Google, you normally have 3 to 5. None of that. So it was something I thought was kind of cool too, because now you're not getting influenced by who pays the most. If you type in like food, what restaurant comes up?
Yeah,
Dairy Queen. Fun fact. Can't blame them. $7 meal deal. Save the Sunday.
Blizzard's expensive but good.
Yes, pumpkin pie. Okay. What's your guys' go-to Blizzard? You can tell a lot about a person by their Blizzard.
Okay, normally I go like cookie dough.
That doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
But when they had the
Brad shaking his head no.
When they had the apple pie one, that was so good. And they also had one 2 summers ago. It was
it's marked on the calendar.
It was the O. Henry one. It was so good. Life has been downhill
since the O. Henry Blizzard.
It was so good.
Since the extension of the extension.
What's yours, Brad?
Mine is probably the brownie explosion or something like that. Death. I don't know. Something death by brownies.
Just some form of death.
Some sort. It must be death. But no, something to do with brownies. But I'm telling you, there was this one. I think it was this summer, or so summer of 2020, and it was it's called I think it was for the Wonder Woman movie. It was like a promotion.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they still have it, but it was chocolate chip cookie dough and brownies, and that was my all-time
it was
unreal best ice cream ever. And actually to this day, I don't know if anyone remembers the TV show Daniel Cook, doing things with Daniel Cook, whatever it was called. But I've had a grudge on him since the episode where he made ice cream and he did not do chocolate chip cookie dough and brownies, and I've hated him since that day.
Fuck Daniel Cook.
Honestly, yeah, fuck Daniel
Our
Cook.
podcast, we hold the stance. Fuck Daniel Cook.
But
I personally, pumpkin pie blizzard, or mint Oreo. Anything mint. I'm a mint addict.
Ooh.
Addict. Not an addict. Not like the top part of your house.
Yeah, fun fact. Can't say addict properly.
Yeah, I was actually kind of disappointed this year because I didn't get to have a Shamrock Shake because the McDonald's that was close to where I live, apparently their milkshake machine doesn't do Shamrock Shakes. They don't have.
Why
the
even be
component.
open?
Shut down your store if you don't have the Shammy Shakes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think I had 3 this year.
Yeah, I meant to get one last time I was here, but we
might be able to get one after. They might. I mean, it might be worth. It'll be worth it. We'll try. Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get back on. Now that we're out of the Dairy Queen ad blocker rabbit hole. Luke, I think
this podcast.
Yeah, this is podcasting, baby. All right.
Okay, so this one I didn't actually read a ton into it. I just thought it was a really catchy title,
Perfect.
and we could kind of speculate.
Great subject for all of us.
Fun. So researchers were able to store data inside of DNA.
I heard that.
Did not hear that.
That's crazy because
you're too focused on the boat topic.
Yeah, I dove in deep on the boat situation.
You're more of a marine guy, not a biology guy.
Yeah.
Marine specialist.
But not the biology kind, just the marine.
Just the marine.
Yeah. As soon as you throw the marine
yeah,
biology.
that's a 35-footer.
Yeah, it's probably about 3.5 football fields out. How big's your boat?
You tell a lot about a man by the size of his boat.
By how many football fields his boat is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 0.2 of a football field.
Yeah.
Not what size engine you have.
No.
How long by football
square
fields.
footage.
It's all in the square footage.
But yeah, so they're saying they can store data in DNA. Isn't DNA data, technically?
Technically, yeah.
It's biological data.
Well, we have tons of we have terabytes upon terabytes of storage in our DNA, and you can. I'm not really sure how they convert.
Yeah, are they gonna store
Well, that's the whole
Canada's vaccination numbers inside of a piece of DNA that's gonna be inside of my body, and I'm gonna be the COVID dosage dude. What do you mean data inside of DNA?
It's sir, have you had a vaccine? Yes. Well, we're gonna have to get Brad in here to test that.
They just come in and poke me somewhere in my rib cage and just brings up the data.
Checks out.
You just go all robotic,
He's Rain Man, but he's just saying names of COVID vaccines.
Yeah.
But I mean, have you guys ever seen the thing about CRISPR? It's I'm assuming that's what it is. Is they're using CRISPR to do that? Maybe we should have read
CRISPR, but
what?
I don't know if it's through CRISPR because CRISPR is
unravels DNA.
I'm so lost.
It can unravel and rewrite.
Is CRISPR not like the CRISPRs the bake?
Not in your fridge.
No.
Not in your fridge.
Not the CRISPR in my fridge, and not to be confused with Casper the Friendly Ghost. But what is
CRISPR essentially?
Was that his name?
Ooh,
Casper.
Not to be confused with Casper.
CRISPR the Friendly.
Or the CRISPRs that you... Yeah, anyways.
CRISPR the normal ghost.
Essentially, CRISPR is a way that you can scientifically engineer your DNA so that...
Brad just flipped my neighbors.
Yeah, because you he pulled his car and then he came back out 3 minutes later to back it in.
They're pretty active.
Anyways,
right
CRISPR is essentially so they can scientifically change your DNA. So you can, if you wanted your child to be...
So hold up. You're telling me I could completely customize my kid?
Well,
yes, essentially.
I think what they're saying is you're going to be able to do kids, but you couldn't do us.
You can't
we
do
have
us
too
because we're
much
already formed.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So at a single cell or...
No, but like saying like I
So if you
have a
want your
kid in
child-
5 years, I could kind of like mix and match.
Yeah,
there.
if you want your child to have like
you're like-
green eyes, to be 7 foot tall, to play in the NBA, like you can basically form a superhuman.
But then there's also things though that make it more complex, because they did a thing with moths that because they can't start on humans, you know, they're progressively going at more complex animals, and they did
they have done one CRISPR baby in China.
That's true. I actually do remember hearing about that now.
But
now that you start talking about
I
that.
saw a thing that with a moth, they changed the color of the moth's wing, but because they edited the gene for the color, it made it so the wings didn't develop, because the color gene was also tied with the development of the wing gene. So it's more complex, because it's not as simple as this one just means color. This one means color in this and this. And this.
So you can't just kind of like go in like you're building like a be a pro my 2K player situation.
That's essentially what they want.
Down the road they want to do that.
But then that brings into question: is that ethical? And a lot of people agree that it's not ethically.
Yeah, it's kind of screwed up.
Like
you
can't just go around.
What if you went the opposite way? Because everybody's gonna try to make their kid like prime.
Well, then that's gonna.
So then you're like, I'm gonna make my kid 3'5". He has a nose like Pinocchio, and
his skin is like green or something.
Yeah,
like it's
it's
Mini Hulk. It's literally Mini Hulk. That's what. There literally is. That's gonna happen though. Like there's gonna be somebody who's gonna be like, man, this is going to be
hilarious.
Awesome. My kid's gonna have purple skin, and he's gonna be 6.
Well, but my kid is SpongeBob.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also going to be like, is Russia and China going to start developing like super soldiers, like armies upon armies of just
unison?
Like,
it's a slippery slope.
It's again like AI, like
and what happens?
It's in theory great because you can correct disformities before
you can get rid of hereditary disease.
Yeah. I feel like there's definitely some pros and cons. It's like anything. There's pros and cons, really.
What happens if you mix AI and CRISPR and then you let AI create humans?
Yes.
See what pops out.
But then, people are just gonna screw in. They're gonna be like, you know what? I feel like making a man that's 15 feet tall.
I feel like there has to be limitations.
That's not genetically possible though, because I feel like we can only
not for our stage of human.
But these people are gonna be built different, man.
Well, there was definitely giants on this earth 100,000 years ago, however long, hundreds of years ago. Anyways,
different topic for a different podcast.
The Bible talks about it.
I swear.
No Bible talk here.
I heard Moses was 16 feet tall and purple. He literally split the sea.
With his boat. He parked that ship.
He can block the shit out of that
right in the middle of
it's actually Noah's Ark blocking the canal right now.
Yeah, that's what many people don't know is that the Ark was actually
Noah
16
time
football.
Noah, good guy. That was a four football fields at least boat. So going right on to the topic of boats again, actually.
What's this one?
Yeah, we just love talking about boats here.
This might become a boat podcast, I think.
We found our niche.
Finally, we've been searching.
Okay, so the Philippines came out and said that they've sighted 220 Chinese boats in their water that China and them have been disputing for a long time. But it's 220 boats, but it's not even the Chinese military. They have a militia force that's a big enough militia that they have 220 boats.
That's larger than most countries' naval fleets.
I mean, I don't know how good these boats are. Are they fishing boats? I mean, I'm assuming they don't have any football field boats. So they're not big men or anything.
They're nothing. I bet you there's probably a bunch of those Philippine guys like standing on top of a wall somewhere saying like with signs that say like "Do it, pussy" or like "Bluff, you wouldn't."
You can't chem block. But like, could you imagine? Like, it's just like, some groups like, you know what? Today's the day. Let's go get that water back from the Philippines.
Well, honestly, they're probably paid by the Chinese government. The Chinese government just doesn't want to officially be.
It's probably
not that we're talking ill about the Chinese government or any Russian governments from prior Russia talk. But yes, continue.
We support all governments. Except for North Korea.
Yeah.
Their missiles can't hit here yet, can they?
Hopefully not.
No, that's North Korea.
But could you imagine just like going out, looking out over the water, and there's just 200 boats, and like when we say boats, like this could literally range from like a dinghy to like maybe a canoe.
Football field.
Yeah, we could even like be talking just your normal fishing boat.
Well, seeing as we're big boat guys, imagine if we just decide one day we're like, you know what, let's go take some water from America, and we just all roll up on our boats.
My parents have kayaks, so we're basically set.
We just roll up to St. Stephen.
As a speedboat, as a kayak.
Roll down to St. Stephen with like a fleet of kayaks. We're barricading the border.
I mean, they wouldn't even be able to pick you up on a radar. You'd be so small.
Well, no, yeah, the cross section wouldn't.
You have canoes to carry the supplies, and then kayaks to rip in there. Good to go. You get the doggy paddling behind us. But yeah, I thought that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Where are we at right now?
We're sitting at about 47 minutes.
Well, I think it's the perfect time for the little NHL corner on the podcast.
Hockey talk.
2021. So, our favorite page
where
that
I become useless.
The page that we followed didn't have anything absolutely ridiculous this week, so he's not going to get really mentioned. But two things that I thought would be fun to bring up, and if Brad has anything that he wants to bring up, you can. The first one was the Buffalo Sabres, currently on a 13 losing streak. It's winless.
Winless, yeah,
winless.
Without a point. It's impressive. It actually reminds me of a local hockey team about 4 or 5 years ago in 2016. Just could not win a game.
Yes, I actually, in fact, do remember which team that would be.
But one or two skill guys, and then it just falls off, and then they can't win a game.
Hard.
But
they had an amazing hydration staff, though.
Yeah, no, that sucks. Like, it's not like you feel bad for them because that's not even fun at that point.
Well, especially like where I actually do know a little bit about this topic for once.
Congrats.
Like they have a good roster. Like there's no reason they should be losing all those games.
Pretty like not like an amazing roster, but they definitely have a team that should be, you know, not a bottom
at all. A mid pack.
Yeah, in their division, they realistically could have made the playoffs.
Yeah, 110%. With that team, I mean, Eichel hasn't. I don't think he's been around for a little while either, so that doesn't help.
You think he's gonna want to get out?
Probably.
Did you see what Taylor Hall? They asked him if he'd be open to being traded, and he literally just said, "Yeah, like for sure." Like that was it.
Normally they're like, "Oh, you know, that's on the side," but he's just like, "Yeah."
Like that's literally like, "Yeah." And
it's like it's basically like a no shit. Yeah. I saw a thing basically that if Buffalo wants to trade Taylor Hall, they're most likely going to have to retain half of the contract. But I've seen people. We are talking about how much we love Toronto fans. Frederik Andersen's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So all the Leafs fans are going, Taylor Hall, we need Taylor Hall. Why the fuck do you need more forwards? They don't need more forwards.
Maybe a defenseman would help.
Yeah, a right-handed defenseman.
Probably be a better option.
But no, forwards.
Yeah.
Forwards win cups, you know. Obviously, by how many times they've made it out of the first round recently.
Honestly, I don't know where I'd want to see him end up if he was to be traded.
People are talking Boston. That wouldn't be bad. But then you're like, do you split up that line?
Yeah, that's true. No, I don't think so. I think you probably just toss him in the second and give
Krejci
someone to play with. Yeah. Personally,
I'd like to see him go to like.
I want to see him go to fucking. I was gonna say Colorado, but that top line has been playing so well lately, and there's talks about him going there before and stuff like that. I just think he'd be maybe.
What about the Islanders?
A nice player. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I don't know how he'd work in that system. I feel like he'd feel even more restricted than he does now in Buffalo. Yeah. Especially under Barry Trotz and his defense first.
I think you'll see him get traded to an American team. I don't think there's a. I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
Buffalo's clearly not going anywhere. They have him on a 1-year contract for like $9 million.
8.
Is it 8? Yeah,
that's
so
what it was.
1 year,
so
1 year,
$4 million, and that's why they were saying because Anderson's out.
Yeah, like it's a simple, and I mean, at least they get something back instead of him.
Oh, he's not re-signing. There's no way in hell he re-signs.
Not after what's happened, I don't think.
Anymore. I think Buffalo, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jack Eichel says trade me. After this season, honestly. He's way too good of a player to be.
What was this thing? It was like in the last. How did that go? It was like Buffalo had been shut out 7 times. Oh yeah, that's how it was. Buffalo's been shut out 7 times. Like haven't scored a goal, shut out for 7 games, and then they've only won 6. So they've been shut out of games
more than they've won.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a stat today about Jeff Skinner. He's played 100 games since signing his contract. They've won 36 of those games. And he has 24 points.
Yeah.
He gets paid $9.5 million a season.
To do nothing.
Yep. He scored like
Must
a couple.
Nice.
He scored a couple goals of late, but it's I think he has like 3 on the season. So I mean,
he's somebody that I truly expected that because
you did expect it.
I expected him to be because he always was kind of like he was supposed to be good.
Yeah.
He was always supposed to be good. He'd have years where he was good, contract years, and then it's like if he's a guy that doesn't really give that much of a shit, you sign a $9.5 million ticket for 8 years. Like fuck, why care?
I suppose I don't know. I don't think it's like I wouldn't say he doesn't care. I think they all care and they all want to be their worth and what they're worth for the money that they're paid. Probably just a rough spot. Like sometimes you just lose it.
Once you get demoralized, it's hard.
Yeah, once you lose a lot, it's hard to regain your confidence, especially at that level. Like where just one little mistake could literally turn into a goal. Like it's not like junior or minor league hockey where you make a mistake and it's whatever. But it's the NHL, it's a little bit different.
You get punished if you do anything wrong.
It's so hard for your confidence and
they have so
honestly
many...
as I know it's probably unlikely gonna happen, but if there was any sort of way that they could get him out of Buffalo and give him a fresh start, but he's locked up for a while and his contract is so bad and he has nothing to back it up.
The only way it would ever happen is if somebody had an equally as bad contract.
Yeah,
and he is the worst contract in the league,
110% hands down. And so it's you feel bad for him, but it just sucks that he can't. There's almost no way he gets a fresh start.
I get the vibe, and I have for a while, that I think Buffalo's owners are doing that. They're more hands-on than they should be.
Yeah.
Because just Buffalo's system doesn't make sense. They try to use Dolan as a defending defenseman.
Yeah.
When he's a puck mover.
He should be moving the puck. He should be rushing up. He should be up in the rush. He should be making offensive plays. It's what he's good for. That's why your Rasmus Ristolainen, and you should have those two paired together. You got a left-handed D, and Ristolainen, you can have him back there playing defense. He's a big guy.
You know what's insane? He's been in the NHL for 7 years.
Yeah, I know.
He does not seem that.
That hasn't seemed like it's been that long. I remember he was always supposed to be a great up-and-coming defenseman, but.
And I think a lot of those guys, I think Dolan doesn't get talked about. Ristolainen doesn't get talked about. I think they're good players on a bad team, and Buffalo just doesn't get the recognition.
Yeah, Buffalo has the opportunity. They have some good young players too. They can find if Casey I can't never pronounce his name, but
Middlestat.
Yeah, Middlestat. Yeah. If he can figure it out and pull it together, and they got Sam Reinhart, who's been pretty not bad, could be better.
You would think on paper, Jeff Skinner, Eichel, and fuck, who was the one you just said? The playmaker, Sam Reinhart. You'd think that line would just be a killer line, or Taylor Hall, Eichel, Reinhart. You'd think that line would just kill it.
And then they have that Victor Olofsson kid too, who's
nasty.
Yeah. So I mean, they have a lot of good players there. They just can't seem to piece it together.
Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to rebuild again somehow, and They just seem like a doom franchise. They just seem like a franchise that just is always knocked down.
Yeah, it just seems like nothing, no matter what happens, nothing's gonna go right.
And then another little interesting thing I saw was Erik Karlsson was making comments about how, because people are talking about, oh, what about San Jose rebuilding and stuff like that, and he said, I didn't sign here to go through another 10-year rebuild like in Ottawa.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're getting paid how many millions of dollars?
He's
like
12 and a half or 11 and a half.
Yeah, I think it's 10 and a half or 11 and a half.
11 and a half. And him and Doughty are right.
Yeah. But then they also have Brent Burns making like $9.8 million.
Vlasic making.
He was making a good chunk too, but like you have so much money tied up right there. Yeah, like San Jose hasn't seemed to have drafted like any studs.
They do
like,
really well drafting depth, but they
they never seem like I don't know. They have a couple guys like the Timo Myers.
I think Timo Myers is a good.
Yeah, player. Like those. They have some good players there, but they don't have like that. They don't have that star player. You know what I mean? Like Logan Couture is a great player, but he's not your.
It's not looking good. Did they let Pavelski walk either?
No, and I thought. Well, honestly, at the time, I was like, oh, not bad. Pavelski's old, like, but he has been a great player for Dallas. But yeah, Karlsson, like, I mean, he first and foremost, you haven't really been a part of the solution. Like, Karlsson has played awful. He has been abysmal in San Jose.
Oh, he's not playing to that contract.
He is not even close.
Just he's not like Karlsson isn't. He's saying that he doesn't want to go through another rebuild, but he's not his worth whatsoever.
No, he hasn't played up to what he's being paid.
He's only 30 too.
Yeah, like he still has a handful, 3-4 good years left in him for sure.
I think the injuries did him in.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a lot to battle through.
Because his big thing was he was fast, and I think he's just lost that edge. And
yeah, but I mean, yet again, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be saying. I don't know if I'd be going in the media and saying what he was saying when I'm not performing to what I'm supposed to perform to. Good player and all, great player, but like, I mean, you gotta perform and you gotta.
I mean, I don't even think Erik Karlsson's in the top 10 defenseman anymore.
No, I don't think so.
I don't
anymore.
even think he'd be in the top 15.
Yeah, I'm sure you can make a case for a lot of other defensemen over him, but like I don't know. And that's just San Jose. They had their couple good years there, but like we said, they have some good like second line down, some good players, but they just don't have any great like.
I think their issue,
first
like,
line.
they had the team they could have won a cup, but they were missing a couple key things.
Yeah, goalie.
They never had a
huge.
goal scorer ever.
No, they never had like a pure goal scorer and like a good goalie.
Evander Kane was supposed to be like their goal scorer, and
he's been like, man, he's been okay.
He's one guy that I actually think just signs a ticket, doesn't care, to be honest. If there is any,
I mean, when you go bankrupt.
You're obviously doing a lot of stuff on the side. If you're
yeah. Question how much your interest is.
And like Martin Jones, like that is a bad contract too. He was supposed to be there for.
And he's brutal.
Dubnik's there too.
Yeah, Dubnik's there too.
But he's not what he used to be.
No, they have a couple older guys, and I think they gotta just. Honestly, like you could probably do a quick little rebuild there. Maybe have 1, 2, 3, maybe 1 or 2 bad years, and then get some good draft picks and then try to build your team that way.
I mean, I think it screwed them having to give that pick away in the last draft too.
That probably did.
Everybody at the time went, "Oh, San Jose won that trade. Ottawa won that trade by a landslide."
For sure.
Because it worked out to them getting Tim Stitzel.
Like that worked. Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
And
for
like
them.
A bunch of the other players involved in it. Like I don't know. I think the first thing they have to do is they have to get rid of one of those defense contracts and.
Yeah, I mean you can try, but how many people are going to want 30? How old Burns now? 33, 34?
Yeah, I think he's 34.
Who's going to want a 34-year-old defenseman who's locked in for a couple more years at $9.8 million who's not producing like he used to either?
And Vlasic is still shut down defenseman, but he's getting overpaid for a defensive defense.
110%, and he's also older. And Karlsson's 30, but like who's paying $10.5 million for Karlsson performing how he does? No one.
Karlsson plays like he's 35 at this point. Like is kind of like I was so surprised he was 30 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's gonna be a rough time.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how this year pans out for them and how the draft goes. And
this year's draft's gonna be a shit show.
I don't think it'll be a shit show. I think there's just not going to be as many NHL ready players, but you're going to get a little bit more.
I think there's going to be a better chance to get steals.
Yeah, I think there's going to be good depth in this draft.
For what I remember seeing, this wasn't going to be like an insane.
No, I don't think there's like any clear cut. There's a couple defensemen, a couple Canadian defensemen, and I think there might be an American and there's something like that in there too. But there's a couple of good players that are. They're not going to be like your. There's no like for sure number one pick, but I'm sure there'll be something. But
I think it's going to be the thing where even if you get like a 10th, 11th overall pick, there's going to be a good chance of you getting a good player because they haven't got to see them play hardly this year compared to other years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our NHL talk for the week.
I'm glad I felt very useful during that.
Yeah, big part of that.
Hey, you came in on the Buffalo talk. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap us up for the week. That was This Week in an Hour.
Yeah, so make sure you guys go follow our Instagram page, This Week in an Hour.
We're clout chasing.
No, it just helps support us.
Like for like, follow for follow.
Help spread the word, help try and promote our podcast, get us out there, get us some more listens. Make sure you guys leave a comment if you have anything to comment about. Leave a rating.
If you have anything you want us to talk about.
Yeah, any topic you want us to talk about, you can actually send us an email. We have an email now. We talked about that last episode, I think.
Yeah, This Week in Hour.
Yes, Luke screwed it up when he made it.
I'm not very good at grammar.
That's all right. If you go on our Instagram, you can just click on the email button there, and it'll just set you up with a draft with it. So
yeah, or just even or comment on Instagram posts. We're gonna try to post more regularly. On it. And yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you've stayed this long, and
if you haven't left yet,
congratulations.
From all the boat talk. Welcome to the end.
Next week we talk about our dream boats.
All right. Well, have a great day, and see you guys later.
Zeus.